Yes, that's right. It's Joe here for Joyrider TV. And yes, that's right. You are watching Show Us Your Cat. Oh yes, you are. Yes, that's right. It's Joe here for Joyrider TV, back with another episode of Show Us Your Cat. Yes, it's been a long time since we did one of these, but I thought now that the winter is upon us here in Vasiliki Lefkas, Greece, it is about time to get back onto Show Us Your Cat. And in today's episode, we are going to be looking at a trilogy of Hobie 16s plus a Prindle, and we're going to be looking at one of the most innovative mast raising systems that I've ever seen. So stay tuned for that one.
My name's Freya and you're watching Joyrider TV.
Show Us Your Cat is where we take a trip around the world looking at your boats and where it is that you sail them. If you want to be involved in a future episode of Show Us Your Cat, then all that you need to do is send me video or photographs of your boat plus some details about your boat, and yes, you will be featured in a future episode. All of the information that you need is in the video description below. Oh yes. As well as Show Us Your Cat, we've also got the What Went Wrong series, and I really couldn't wait to get this one out. So let's take a look at what happened to Brad and Laura on the Hobie 16 during an event. Over to Joe in the studio. Okay, yes, thank you, Joe on the beach. Okay, so here we are on board with Brad and Laura, and things start going a little bit weird going into this jibe, where Brad is using this very peculiar technique to get across the boat, and then there you can see he's really forcing the mainsail across before it's ready to go across, and I would say that kills the speed of the boat, loading it up with pressure, and it means when the sails come slamming across, that's right, those bows are going down and nowhere else. The key to a successful high wind jibe is to carry as much speed as you can into the jibe, so when the sail comes across it's pretty much weightless and you're not forcing it across at all, you're just guiding the sail across your head. Yes, that was an absolute perler. Thanks very much to Brad and Laura for sending in that bit of video for us to have a look at. Like with Show Us Your Cat, if you're sitting on some video footage of you stacking it in some way or something not going quite as well as you'd hoped, please do send it in, and then we can put together an episode of What Went Wrong to analyse what went wrong. Oh yes. Yes, I've just launched a brand new totaljoyrider.com website where a lot of the instructional videos have been nicely indexed, and this will be an ongoing project of mine to get more of the videos up there. I'll keep you informed. As well as that, just in time for your Christmas shopping, I've now made a specific collection of t-shirts, hoodies and accessories for each type of catamaran, so you can browse by your type of catamaran. And the special deal at the moment is, if you want anything customizing with your boat name, your sail number, your sail colors, anything like that, just let me know and I will do it for free. Oh yes, get involved, get in there. But do check out the website and let me know what you think. Put it in the comments of this video or anywhere else. But for now, yes, that's right, it's time for Show Us Your Cat. So let's jump in and take a look at what we're looking at in this week's Show Us Your Cat on Joyrider TV. Yes, we're starting off today with the story of Mark and Nate, a father and son duo from upstate New York, who turned an old Hobie 16 into a ticket to adventure. Their first boat was this 1970s Hobie 16 with the Tequila Sunrise sails. She certainly wasn't much to look at. When it was offered for free from some friends, Mark was pretty sceptical, but Nate was keen to make it work. After some cleaning, repairs and determination, Mark and Nate were ready for their maiden sail in New York. It wasn't all smooth sailing though. Their trial run was exciting but short-lived. The boat's acceleration and speed were thrilling, but one of the Lexan rudder blades snapped mid-sail. Just to top things off, once they'd got the boat back to the beach, the mast fell down, thanks to a broken shroud anchor pin. Talk about a rough start, but this wasn't enough to make them give up on their Hobie dream. After more repairs, they trailered the boat 700 miles to Lake Huron, Michigan, back in 2019. Sailing from the family's beachfront property near Greenbush, the old Hobie got a second wind. It wasn't perfect, there were soft spots on the hulls and fragile sails. It meant they had to take it quite easy, but it really did give them a taste of what cat sailing was all about. Then in 2022, disaster strikes again. The classic Tequila Sunrise mainsail ripped in half during a sail. By this point, Mark and Nate knew that it was time for an upgrade. They'd seen what can happen if you let your soft spots go unchecked on the hulls, thanks to a previous episode of Show Us Your Cat, and decided this boat had earned its retirement. So enter the new 1979 Hobie 16, the Orange Crusher. This boat was found locally in Michigan and a huge step up. It had solid hulls and a single trapeze, and you can see this boat really does look the business. And with this boat, Mark and Nate could finally push their limits. They've spent the summer of 2024 putting the Orange Crusher to the test on Lake Huron and can't wait for more adventures next season. Big thanks to Mark and Nate for sharing their story. Looks like you guys have scored an absolutely magic looking 16 there, with an equally good looking venue on which to sail. And yes, in answer to the age-old question, does a Hobie Tiger cover fit on a Hobie 16? Kind of. It does the job. Yes, we're keeping it in the USA. We're heading over to Ventura Sailing Club, just to the north of Los Angeles, California, on the Pacific coast, where we have Chris. Chris is sailing a Prindle 18-2. Oh yeah. The Prindle 18-2s were built for about 10 years, from 1983 onwards, and were very ahead of their time in terms of dimensions and specification. The Prindle 18-2 is 18 feet long. It's 2 meters 60 wide, the same as an F18, and has a sail area, just the main and jib, of 22 square meters, and is 10 kilos less than an F18. So on paper, that makes the Prindle 18-2 a very quick boat. And for Chris, the combination of the Prindle 18-2 and being able to sail at Ventura Sailing Club is perfect. He loves the challenge of balancing the boat speed with the ever-changing ocean conditions. Plus, being a part of a club like this means he's got a whole community of fellow sailors to share tips, race stories, and maybe even a few post-sail beers. So thank you very much to Chris for sharing his setup with us, and I hope you have some more great sailing this year.
My name's Goose, and you are watching Joyrider TV.
Now we're heading over to the East Coast, to Long Beach Island, New Jersey, where we have Kevin. So for Kevin, it all started with his original 1970s Hobie 16 with white hulls, as you can see in this video. Unfortunately, these hulls reached the end of their natural life. A shroud fitting pulled through the gunnel was deemed not repairable, so that was it for these hulls. But certainly not the end of the story for this boat. So in this clip you can see Kevin sailing that vintage Hobie 16 with his son Christopher. Truly a piece of family sailing history. So when the old Hobie needed repairs, Kevin decided to build a new one from scratch using spare parts. In 2012 he found a pristine barn-stored Hobie 16 in Pennsylvania, only used on a lake, with gel coat so fresh it could have been brand new. But just as Kevin brought it home to Long Beach Island, Hurricane Sandy arrived. With some quick thinking, Kevin secured his new Hobie and 2 blue hulls he'd rescued from bay cats in Ocean City. And despite the storm's devastation, flooding in his house and scattering debris across the island, both boats survived. The new Hobie floated just 5 feet away, still strapped to its trailer, while the blue hulls, filled with water for ballast, stayed put. So today Kevin has 2 Hobies. The pristine yellow one he's keeping pristine, and his Franken Hobie he's pieced together with all the parts. So thanks very much for sharing your story, Kevin. Great to see you still getting these old boats out on the water, and it must be very nice knowing that you've got a spare just waiting in the garage. Okay, next we're heading to Ottertail Lake, Minnesota, USA, where we have Dirk, who's going to talk us through some modification he's made to his Hobie 21 SE.
Just thought I'd share a couple things I've learned about my 21 over the years. So this is one thing here back on the Traveler. Well, if it releases in a hurry, in here, the car can travel rapidly across and it'll whack that little plastic thing. And speaking from experience, it'll just shatter that thing and all the little ball bearings fall out of your Traveler and you kind of got a mess. So what I've done is on the Traveler adjuster here, I have a knot, so it just stops short. Even if it's released, it stops short, so I can never have the Traveler car slam into the end stop over here. Another thing, I guess here in the back of the boat, I do secure my wings on so they can't come out of the pocket in case of a capsize. Luckily I've only capsized this thing a few times. Not recommended. They're a much more fun boat when they're right side up. I do quite a bit of sailing from the trapeze wire off the wing, and I had a nice adjustable tiller handle here, but after a couple different times when at the least the worst possible time, you know, I get a little twist on it and all of a sudden, you know, your length of your tiller handle is changing. So I've actually just fixed mine. I have it padded up with the cork on the end and some extra padding on the way up. And like I say, I just sail with my tiller handle extended at all times. Even if you're sitting on the wing, it's just fine. Another thing that I've got here, I call them my hams holders, a beverage of choice. But so on all 4 corners of the wings, I have this little PVC vent, and you got to get the specific kind. I can't remember what the name of it is. The icon has a little, like a little Indian chief on it or whatever, but it's got just these little ridges inside, and it'll securely hold a basic beer can like a hams can, which is very nice, because especially if you're single handling this boat, many times you absolutely need to be using both hands. So I've got those in all 4 corners of the wings. So this is, I think, a non-standard for the mast rotation. I've used, actually it's what's used on the adjustable trapeze is what it is. But I've got it set up with another little block back here, and then I can come up here so I can quickly change and latch it in there securely, and then I usually just drop the tail through the wishbone here, and then it holds nice and secure. Another modification I made here after wearing through a few of those pulleys over the years, there used to be a little tiny pulley at the bottom of the mast here for your main halyard to go around while you're raising the main. And I've come up with this little, I had to do some slight modification. I don't remember exactly how I did it here. I guess I riveted a little bracket in here. I keep a mooring bridle on at all times, and when I'm sailing, then I just have a bungee cord just laying down in the water there. So I've always got that. I've had people comment on my videos, what's that extra line out there? Well, that's just my mooring line, and I like to be able to quickly hook it up to a mooring. Anyway, that's just a few things that I probably missed a thing or two, but there's be a couple things that might be some hints for you. So good evening from Otter Tail Lake.
You may have noticed there's some really fancy looking new titles on Show Us Your Cat. Oh yeah. Can you name all 14 different types of boat featured in the titles? In order would be nice, I think. So the competition is spot which types of boats are there, put it in the comments of this video. Then whoever is first to get all 14 types of boat correct in the comments is going to be the winner. Otherwise, if nobody gets it absolutely bang on, and I can tell you, it's not going to be easy. Okay, so the winner will be announced in next Friday's Q&A, and the winner will receive a Joyrider TV t-shirt. Oh yes. Okay, so back to Show Us Your Cat. We're now going to head to Stave Lake in British Columbia, Canada, and I'm going to hand you over to Troy.
Hi Joe, this is Troy coming to you from Nacra, Canada. I reside in Pitt Meadows. I thought you'd want to know about my Hobie mast raising system that I don't think exists anywhere else in the world. I think you'll find it pretty interesting. So let me just walk you through what I have here. This is my early 80s Hobie. As you can see, it's sunset. We've been out sailing today.
I thought we could have a look at Troy's boat before he puts it away. I think you'll agree this is quite a unique looking Hobie 16. It's hand painted by Troy himself, and he's even hand painted the sails as well. This is Jen, Troy's wife, who sails with Troy quite regularly. And now we're on board, and I'd have to say, yes, I am a sucker for an orange trampoline. A few refinements Troy could make to his boat. The first one that stands out is some sort of grip on the sidebar there would make quite a big difference. And if you look at the leeward rudder, it's kind of like not half cocked but not fully down, which must make the steering remarkably heavy. So well worth giving that a tweak if it's possible. So let's go back to the car park to take a look at this innovative mast raising and lowering system, and we'd have to give a big shout out to Troy's dad Brian, who designed and built the system.
The mast is now up. I used the system to raise it. I'm going to raise and lower it a couple times just to show you how easy this is. So here's the system. It's these struts connected to this frame with a telescopic square tube where there's a pulley at the top and a 2,000 pound winch here that we run back to this extended remote, which allows me to control the mast going up and down from about 20 feet back, beyond the length of the boat anyway, which is what counts. So you just click in and out. So I'm going to relieve the tension, as you can see, bouncing a little bit now, and you can pop out the quick release because nothing's going to happen. Mast is still fully supported.
Yeah, that certainly looks like a winner there, making quite a tedious job quite easy and even pleasurable. Thanks very much, Troy, for sending us in those videos and pictures. That really does look like a fantastic place to go sailing. So there we go. Thanks very much to everybody for sharing pictures and video of their boats. And I'll see you soon with some more on Joyrider TV. Oh yes.